Hello, friends. Welcome to Creative Medicine. In this lecture, we will learn about.
Hello friends, let us now learn the relations of orbit. Relations of orbit, if you see above, we have anterior cranial fossa and the frontal air sinus is present. Above, you have anterior cranial fossa and frontal air sinus. Medially, we have ethmoidal air sinus. Below, we have maxillary hair sinus. Laterally, we have temporal fossa and the middle cranial fossa behind. Let me show you in the Netter's atlas. So this is the orbit. Superiorly you have frontal air sinuses. Here you will have frontal air sinuses. Medially you have ethmoidal air sinuses. Below you have maxillary bone, so we have maxillary hair sinuses. Laterally we have temporal bone, and also you have middle cranial fossa which is seen in the lateral part. So these are the main relations of the orbit. Then what is orbital fascia or periorbita? So what is orbital fascia? So if this is the orbit, okay, this is the orbit. If you see, this is the orbital opening, this is the optic nerve which is going on. So this is the bone of the orbit actually. So this bone of the orbit is surrounded by a thin layer of connective tissue which is called as periosteum of the orbit, which is nothing but periorbita. Any bone in our body is covered by periosteum. So similarly, even the orbit is covered by a periosteum which is called as periorbita. So this periorbita will line the bony boundaries of the orbit. This periorbita will form a funnel shaped sheath. This is a funnel shaped sheath, and to this funnel shaped sheath, inside it you will see the orbit. Here you will see orbit, here you will see the optic nerve, everything. So this will attach to the, so this periorbita or periosteum of orbit, it is loosely attached to the bones, and then at the optic canal and superior orbital fissure, it becomes continuous with the periosteum of the skull. At the optic canal and superior orbital fissure, it becomes continuous with the periosteum of the skull, whereas at the infraorbital fissure and orbital margin also, it becomes continuous with the periosteum covering of the external surface of skull. Let me show you this picture also. So this is the same picture, but here this is the periosteum, this line, here you will, this is the bone, right? This is the orbital bones. See, this is the ethmoid bone. Okay, so this, here you will see a small fascial sheath which is called as periorbita. Okay, that is behind this this one you can see here, periorbita label here, this one. Okay, outside the fat tissue, just covering the bone, you have a layer which is called as periorbita. Okay, now this periorbita, right, so this is periorbita. Now this periorbita covers the bone loosely, and this is enclosing all the muscles of the eye, all the eyeball, and also the optic nerve. So at this periosteum, this periorbita, if it is present, this is the in the periorbita, if you see this periorbita at the superior orbital fissure. So this periorbita at the superior orbital fissure, it becomes continuous with the exterior of the skull, and also with the at the inferior orbital fissure, it is continuous with the skull, whereas at the optic nerve, periorbita at the optic canal, it is continuous with the interior of the skull. So this is about the periorbita, which is also called as orbital fascia. Then see the same picture in here. So here this is the bone. The thin layer which is covering this bone is the periorbita. Okay, and what are the contents of the orbit? So these are the contents of the orbit. If you see the contents of the orbit, one, you will see presence of eyeball, there is an optic nerve, there is orbital fat, then you will see presence of levator palpebrae superioris muscle, and recti muscle, that is all the recti, all the oblique muscles will be seen. All the recti will be seen and also all the oblique muscles will be seen. All the recti will be seen, all the oblique muscles will be seen. Okay, and you will also see ophthalmic artery. It's not seen visualized here, but you will see ophthalmic artery, ophthalmic vein, even the lacrimal gland and orbital fat will be seen. And also nerves, optic nerve, oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerve, adjacent nerves, all those are seen. So these are the contents of the orbit: eyeball, muscles, fascia bulbi, optic, oculomotor, trochlear, adjacent, ophthalmic nerves and ciliary ganglion, even ophthalmic artery, ophthalmic vein, lacrimal gland and orbital fat are also present. So if you see the contents of the orbit in the actual diagram, this is the eyeball, you will see the muscles, you will see orbital fat, optic nerve. Okay, so these are the different muscles. 4 recti muscles are present and 2 oblique muscles are present here. This is superior oblique, inferior oblique, this is superior rectus, lateral rectus, inferior rectus, medial rectus, and this is levator palpebrae superioris. You will see lacrimal gland and even you will also see nerves. So these are the nerves which are contents of orbit. So this is optic nerve, ophthalmic artery. So this is, you can see here, optic nerve, ophthalmic artery is seen. This is the inferior rectus muscle. This is inferior branch of oculomotor nerve, nasociliary nerve, adjacent nerve, and you will see infraorbital fissure. Through that infraorbital artery and nerve will go. So all these, even the lacrimal nerve, frontal nerve, trochlear nerve, all these are actually the contents of the orbit. Okay, next. The next thing is origin of muscles. So eye muscles origin. So all the recti, if you see, they are originated from, all the recti will originate from a common tendinous ring of Zinn. So this ring which you can see green colored, so that is common tendinous ring of Zinn. From that the superior rectus, lateral rectus, medial rectus, inferior rectus and also superior oblique muscles will get attached, will get their origin from this central tendinous ring of Zinn. What is this tendinous ring? This central tendinous ring will enclose the optic canal and also it will enclose the middle part of superior orbital fissure. Then laterally it is attached to a tubercle which is called as tubercle of Zinn. It is attached laterally to the tubercle which is called as tubercle of Zinn, whereas medially it is attached to the orbit. Okay, so this is the origin of all the recti muscles. Then where are the recti muscles inserted? They are directly inserted to the sclera. So this is the sclera. Superior orbit is inserted to the upper part of sclera. Medial or medial rectus to the medial part of sclera. Inferior to lower part of sclera. Whereas lateral rectus to lateral part of sclera. So if I show you the diagram of this insertion and origin. So right. So these are the muscles. Superior, this is the levator palpebrae superioris. This is superior oblique muscle, superior rectus muscle. This is superior rectus muscle. See, superior oblique, you should identify it with the help of this trochlea or pulley. This will help to identify the superior oblique muscle. This is the levator palpebrae superioris which is present above the superior oblique muscle. Then you have superior rectus. So this is the superior rectus muscle which you can see. Then you have medial rectus muscle. This is the ring which is common tendinous ring of Zinn. So this is the origin of all these muscles. Then this is the lateral rectus. Then we have inferior rectus muscle and maxillary sinus. This is the maxillary sinus. Now this nerve which you can see is the optic nerve, and we have lateral rectus muscle which is the cut part. This is the lateral rectus muscle and this is the inferior oblique muscle. Inferior oblique muscle. Okay, so if you remember, so this all the muscles will arise from this common tendinous ring of Zinn and they flow forwards and they get inserted into the sclera. So this is the origin part of the muscle, whereas this is the insertion part of the muscle. So if you see similarly here, This is the common tendinous ring of Zinn. So this is the origin part of muscles, and all these muscles will get innervated or inserted into the sclera of the eyeball. Okay, so this is the superior oblique muscle. You can identify it with the help of this trochlea, superior oblique muscle. Then see, this is the superior location, right? So as a result, this is superior rectus muscle, this is lateral, so lateral rectus muscle. This is the medial rectus muscle, which you can see. Here we have inferior rectus muscle, and here we have levator palpebrae superioris muscle. This is levator palpebrae superioris muscle. So these are the extrinsic muscles. So if you see innervation to the of eye muscles, so lateral rectus is supplied by abducent nerve, superior oblique, which is there, that is supplied by trochlear nerve, whereas oculomotor nerve supplies the rest of the muscles. This can be remembered as SO4 LR6, which is superior rectus supplies the fourth cranial nerve, which is trochlear nerve, whereas lateral rectus supplies the sixth or abducent nerve. Okay, so this is the important about the innervation of eye muscles. Next, if you see the oblique muscles, origin and the insertion. So oblique muscles origin and insertion will be different from the other muscles. So if you see superior oblique origin is from the body of the sphenoid, superolateral to the optic canal. It originates from the body of the sphenoid and it inserts into the sclera. It originates from the body of the sphenoid and it inserts into the sclera. Okay, that is for superior oblique. Whereas inferior oblique, it originates in the floor of the orbit, anteromedial angle in the floor of the orbit it originates, and it gets inserted into the sclera. Again. Let me show you again in the same diagram. So this is the superior oblique, right? So this here in this diagram, if you see, this is the superior oblique. Okay, you cannot see its origin, but it is originated from the sphenoid and it gets inserted into the sclera. Whereas if you see the inferior oblique, so this is the inferior oblique, it is originated from the floor of the orbit, not from the common tendinous ring. It originated from the floor of the orbit and it gets, this is inferior rectus. This is the inferior oblique. It is originated from the floor of the orbit and it gets inserted into the sclera. Okay, so this is inferior oblique muscle. Okay, which gets its origin from the floor of the orbit and gets inserted into the sclera. Okay, thank you for watching.
Thank you, and thank you for watching.